So let's start off with, your favorite WrestleMania moments. And I want to pose it like this, for those people that may be watching that's never been to a Mania, Lonnie, what can they expect from a WrestleMania?
Oh man, lots of fun, but busy. Even for a fan, because back in the day, it was the event itself, maybe a couple of meet and greets. But now you have the event itself, which is now 2 nights. You have a show early in the day, which is NXT. You have SmackDown if you choose, depending on when you get in town. You got SmackDown, then you got the Hall of Fame right after that, and of course you have the Monday of Raw. But in between all of that, you have what they call WWE World now. It used to be called Access. It was going. So you got like 5 days of that. If you buy like the whole package ticket, I don't know how that works right now. You have local stores, local meet and greets. You have indie options for all wrestlers coming to wrestle. So there's a lot to choose from. So you'll never be bored, but you will be busy.
Right.
Yeah. And I say the WrestleMania takes over the whole city, really. You're going to see fans all around in wrestling shirts. And you always have friends to talk to about it. So you automatically know who's going. And they're going to have banners around downtown, everything. A lot of stuff involves WrestleMania. It really surely takes it over the city. And being in there, I miss that. We ain't been in a couple of years now since WrestleMania 38. I miss it. I really want to go back and be enthralled in the experience.
Right. I mean, they literally say it's the Super Bowl of this industry. It's the Super Bowl of this sport that we love, all came to love, the wrestling industry. It is the pinnacle, the most sought after show. I mean, to me, it's become a place where you can meet brand new people and you become friends with them like instantaneously. Like we'll be sitting next to people, and through common interests, we become like friends and families, people from all over the world. And man, I think, man, what jumps out to you? What's your favorite WrestleMania? That we'll go down the room. I'm gonna say New Orleans was my favorite one. I mean, that crowd was live. But we'll spin it around. We'll start with you, Crump. What was your favorite WrestleMania?
My favorite. I've been to 9 now, so I might go with 32. I mean, 30, not 32, but 30 also. The New Orleans, Bourbon Street, going downtown, doing that. And just the experience, and then the yes movement. Everybody saying yes, yes, yes for Daniel Bryan that year. It was a great time.
What a B+ player.
In all actuality, I would say out of the ones we attended, 30 as well, because that was probably the most emotional WrestleMania weekend that I think for any fan. And I'm talking about from the happiest to maybe the most saddest, to disappointing. And what I mean by that is because let's think about it. Daniel Bryan was the star. Like if you remember the audience, all that hands going, it's like a sea of yeses. It was like a sea. It was so everybody was like on point doing it.
It was great to see.
Yeah,
amazing.
But let's remember how it started. You had Hogan, Austin, and Rock come out there and started together. Two probably the biggest, the most popular stars ever in WWE. And then you had, for me personally, I like the fact that you had the Warrior going to Hall of Fame. And of course, a couple of days later, we know what happened there. And not only that, then Undertaker, the streak ended. So it was a lot of emotions there, man.
Yeah, people crying in the bathroom for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of emotions that weekend. So I would say overall, from that perspective, 30.
Man, and that guy's face when Brock ended the streak, man.
He's gonna be on reels every year.
That guy face was spot on, man. I mean, when he ended that streak, I never saw that coming, man. Literally never saw it coming. And to start the show off with, it was kind of funny because Hogan was calling this what do you call this? The Sky Dome.
Yeah, that's what he called it. Yeah. He kept calling it the Sky Dome, but it was the Superdome. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but like you said, the crowd was electric, man. Even the night after, I mean, with Raw, I mean, that crowd was
yeah.
I mean, but you can't help but go to New Orleans and not have a good time. I mean, Bourbon Street,
right.
A great time on Bourbon Street. I think you want to go back, Crump, and get them beignets, right? You want to go back?
Beignets, you know beignets, yeah.
I'm gonna always find some food somewhere and then stay. And
Yeah,
he
Hey,
found a safe.
hey, what's what you go for? That's
Hey,
part of the experience. Place you
yeah,
ain't never
yeah,
been. You see what food they got. See what
right,
sights to see.
man.
That's what you do.
I think next time I want to do like one of historical tours next time we go, man. But it was fun, man. I mean, that's where they need to go next year, if you want my opinion. But anyway, I digress. I digress. So what's the let's see. So with your favorite wrestler, what's your favorite? We talked about, our favorite, when and we filled in people that may have never been to a WrestleMania, but what's that favorite, that number one moment that you could say that was the WrestleMania moment?
Mm. Well, as my favorite wrestler, Kurt Angle, is Kurt Angle beat Shawn Michaels at 21.
Right.
So I mean, that's what I always go back to. That even watching the match again, you know the ending, but it still gets you into it and excited and
Yeah.
thinking like what's gonna happen. But you already know. But that's what a match supposed to do.
Right.
uh, for me, I have to go to WrestleMania 26. The moment when Shawn Michaels' career ended, because Shawn
Mm.
Michaels is one of my top. He's in my top three of greatest of all time. So when the way the storytelling, the poetic ending of how he did that, when he slapped Taker, then he does this take a signature, and that was a moment. That right there's a snapshot if you really think about it. And like, okay, if you're gonna beat me like a man. You know what I'm saying? And then Taker jumped up and just plugged him to the ground. That was it. But to me, moment wise, that was a moment that I was watching at a friend's house that I almost cried. I ain't gonna front on that. And I was like, man, that because that you didn't want it to happen, but you kind of knew it was gonna happen.
Right.
So it's like one of those things. Yeah.
Man, and that's the emotion, that's the pageantry behind, this thing we love, man. And for me, this is not like a moment, but this is something like every time I think about WrestleMania, I always think about Shawn Michaels, his entrance coming down from the rafters,
Yeah.
with that sparkly outfit on, and he gets in the ring and does what he always does. And so I guess it's safe to say that he is Mr. WrestleMania, because all of us had something with Shawn Michaels in it. He
Yeah.
is Mr.
Yeah. I'm just thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Mr. WrestleMania. Now, speaking of WrestleMania, we're in the season of WrestleMania.